Hello everyone, Fox here, and I'm going to do a little commentary for you all today, but first I'd like to mention that this gameplay is from some matches during a Frontline event. What is that? Well, it's pretty much the digital warfare community coming together for one night of the week, having fun, whether it's Call of Duty or some other games like Battlefield. It's a good way to get in touch with the other members and just have a good time pub stomping and just destroying the other team. Okay, so let's talk about Black Ops 2 for the remainder of the video. Today I will be discussing one thing I'm excited for, one thing I'm kind of iffy about, not too sure what to think of yet, and one thing I'm kind of cautious about and or not really looking forward to. So basically one of each category, I guess. I originally did want to do 3 of each, but the video would have been, I think, way too long, so I decided to just pick what is the most important to me for each category. Okay, so let's start out with what I'm most excited for, and that would probably be combat training and the single-player campaign. Yeah, I realize I chose 2, but those are pretty much equal for me on the excitement factor. So combat training has always been a big deal for me. I loved it in Black Ops. Yeah, it did have a lot of things that did kind of piss me off, like how you can't play objective game modes or even prestige unless you did some glitch that helped you prestige. Was kind of pointless not to have that feature in combat training, but whatever, it's their first attempt, so I guess I can cut them some slack. Now that Black Ops 2 is going to have it so that combat training is a part of the actual multiplayer without having its own level up system and such, so technically I could just play nothing but combat training and get to 10 prestige as far as I know. Hopefully that's true, because for me, that would be kind of nice if I wanted to take a break from the multiplayer and do combat training and still level up from that. It would be pretty nice. I get that most people don't care about combat training, and that's fine, I understand that. I think the reason I love it so much is that back in the day, I used to play a lot of games that actually had bots, like Perfect Dark, Medal of Honor, Rising Sun, Time Splitters, and I think a 2-Rock game did at one point. But, you know, I always loved them. I always loved playing against bots and just having a good old time and relaxing with that. Sure, I guess it doesn't beat hearing people cry over the internet when you kill them, but combat training is really something I love, so I'm excited to play that. Now, with the single player, I love the original Black Ops' story more so than any of the other Call of Duty games. I personally thought Modern Warfare 3's was probably the worst, in my opinion. It just felt like it was like some sort of Michael Bay thing with all the explosions and visual effects. But to me, like, the story was just so predictable and it just dragged, and I felt like it took me a lot longer time to finish that game's story than in any of the other Call of Duty games. Whereas in Black Ops, I could play the whole campaign and love pretty much every minute of it. I thought Black Ops had the best story of them all, and I'm pretty damn excited to see what they're going to do in Black Ops 2 as far as its Strike Force missions things, which I think those are going to affect how the story is going to progress. Like, if I kill a hostage, the story will change as compared to if I save that hostage. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. That's just kind of an example I'm giving. But either way, I'm pretty excited on that. So the thing I'm most iffy about is the Pick 10 system. You know, I'm just not too sure on this, because I remember when Black Ops was originally announced, they had this thing about how they created Class 2.0. I think I remember hearing this, that it was supposed to change the way Call of Duty is played or something like that, when in actuality, it really didn't do that much different. Call of Duty, for the most part, has played the same as far as gameplay since Call of Duty 4. So I guess you can understand why I'm a little skeptical on how the Pick 10 system is really going to change anything. Now, not many people know this, but in Fear 2, they had a similar system where you could pick weapons and items for your loadouts, and they would cost points, like a pistol would cost 1 point and an assault rifle would cost 3, or something like that. I didn't really care for it in Fear, but it is a completely different game than Call of Duty is. But anyway, I think that the Pick 10 system will be interesting for sure, but I highly doubt that it'll really change anything to affect the gameplay all that much. Sure, there will be little things like how I don't really plan on using a secondary unless I pick one up from a dead player, but not anything major that'll really change the way people play Call of Duty. Alright, so let's just move on to the final thing here. Well, the thing I'm most worried about in Black Ops 2 is the guns. The more I played Black Ops, I kept noticing how a lot of the guns were very, very similar. For example, with the assault rifles, the Enfield, the AK, the Commando, and the Galil, they all had the same fire rate, and the only one that was different in terms of damage was, well, the Enfield. And with the SMGs, the PM63, MAC-11, Kapars, MPL, and the Spectre all had the same exact rate of fire and damage. I don't even think that their weapons ranges were all that different either. So, other than the recoil and other minor things, there was nothing about these guns that really stands out. Now, I'm not actually worried about overpowered guns or whatever in Black Ops 2. I'm sure the game's going to have something that will be deemed overpowered within like not even 2 days worth of the game even coming out. But I'm sure that Treyarch will patch the game fairly fast so something like that doesn't happen. But who knows, you can't always really rely on that. The only thing I really worry about is the weapon variety. I don't really want all the guns to basically have similar stats and stuff. You gotta give me something different, give me something unique. And that's what I'm hoping Black Ops 2 is going to provide. I really want to have a bunch of weapons that are different. Like in Modern Warfare 3, the guns, well, for the most part, were unique in one way or another. So yeah, hopefully we can see a nice variety with this. I mean, you can have all the guns you want, but if they're all similar, it kind of defeats the purpose of even having them in the first place. And that's the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you're most or least excited about in the comments below, and I thank you guys for watching.